Dave Roberts now available. First question's from Alana Rizzo. Go ahead, Alana.
Dave, good afternoon. This is a Texas team going very much in a different direction as your own team, but you know Chris Woodward well. Just your expectation of how the next three games may go in terms of what you need to do.
I think they're going to be just hard-fought games. Obviously, they're not playing great baseball, but they do get Chu back. I think they get Odor back. They're both in the lineup, so it's a team that they were supposed to be able to pitch well, and they just haven't reached kind of where their potential is. And the same thing with the hitting, but they're going to go out there. They're a tough group. They're going to go out there and compete and try to beat us. And Woody's going to have these guys prepared. And on any given night, Mike Minor can be a handful. So he's got really good stuff. And we also got Lance Lynn the next day. So it's going to be a good series.
A new ballpark there. Do you encourage the outfielders to kind of go and check out the dimensions? Dustin May to check out the mound. Although most mounds are going to be new to him, but just to kind of get a lay of the land there in that new park.
Yeah, it's a beautiful ballpark. The turf itself, the playing surface is comparable, pretty similar to Arizona, so that is fair. We're used to that. The mound is actually retractable for concerts, so I don't think it really has any impact on a baseball game or Dustin. But the outfield is quirky. The wall in left center field, right center field, there's some nooks and crannies there that you got to kind of, and I know George is on top of it. And it's playing bigger than people have expected. So I think that's probably why some of the home run numbers for the home team are down. So just kind of taking batting practice and see how the ball flight is and lighting and background, all that stuff.
Dustin May back in his great state of Texas. How impressive has this young man been for you this year?
He's been great. He just very collected, very even keeled. He shows some emotion and does some things on the mound when he's pitching with that adrenaline, but he's very kind of calm, cool, and collected. So I know he's excited to be back in his home state to pitch.
All right. Thanks, Dave.
Next question is from Jack Harris. Go ahead, Jack.
Hey, Dave, what was the first Jackie Robinson Day like for you? And how far has this celebration come in your, last, 15, 16 years now?
Well, the first one, I recall, it was only one designated player on each club that could wear the 42. And I remember when Jackie's number was retired around ballparks. So now if you look at the way it's evolved, everyone in uniform gets to wear it, has the opportunity to wear the number 42. And just the complete consistent education by Major League Baseball organizations individually, players, most importantly, has been very good. And I think that in light of what's going on, to raise more awareness to what Jackie meant for all of us in the civil rights movement is really important.
So you were at with the Padres that first year that they did it, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and you wore 42 that day?
I did, and some strange way I sort of felt Jackie in me, and wearing the high pants and feeling like you're trying to play as him, which is pretty cool.
How much, what kind of conversations are had around the team today? Is it something that you talk to the guys about? Is it something that they talk about on their own? And especially
right now, I really miss Nuke. Don Newcomb, the late Don Newcomb, he was always around, and he would share stories about rooming with Jackie. And so it's more third hand. I know the Robinson family, but losing him, losing Frank Robinson, and just people that really could tell a story. Maury Will's not around and so has some stories, and Sandy's not around. So it's kind of just trying to really get educated, and that's good, but certainly missing the the one-off kind of people that really knew Jackie.
Thank you.
Got a question from Dave Assay. Go ahead, Dave.
Dave, along those same lines, what's the challenge for you and others to keep Jackie's legacy alive?
The challenge is us continuing to be proactive, not settling for status quo as an industry. I think that the conversations are great, but the execution, the follow through is most important. And, that's about programs in the inner city, getting young Black kids to play baseball, whether it's league set up, just investing money in ball fields and transportation and keeping, young Black boys off the street and teaching them about police brutality and understanding how to go about handling yourself when you're not at home, which is sad that those conversations have to be had with young Black boys, but it does. That is a reality.
Dave, how emotional has the last 24 to 36 hours been, not only for you, but for your players?
It's been emotional for all of us. I'm emotionally spent right now, but this is good. It's supposed to be that way because it's meaningful. But our guys have done a great job of separating what's going on, what's really important in our lives, for our kids' lives, but then focusing on baseball, when the first pitch is thrown. So it's been good, and I'm proud of the way our guys have kind of opened their hearts, minds, and ears. It's been good.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Dave? Go ahead, Eric.
Dave, I have sort of a weird logistical question. I know for guys you call up when you're out of LA, they've had their own transportation to avoid commercial air travel, but with the trade deadline coming up Monday, how would that work? Like if you add a player, do they have to undergo like new intake testing because they're joining a new organization, or is it just treated as like a because they're already under the program? Like, how does this all work?
Yeah, well, that's a good question. I think that because we're all under the same sort of umbrella as far as tier one, when you're talking about players and coaches. So as far as the player, potentially, they're getting tested every other day. I don't think that we as a Dodgers have any different protocol than any other ball club, but then now you're layering in, you need to layer in travel and how they get there, because our guys aren't flying commercial and having family fly commercial that you potentially could be in contact with and putting yourself at risk, even unknowingly. So how that player gets from here to there, that's a really good question. I don't know that answer.
Thanks.
One more from Dave Assay. Go ahead, Dave.
Dave, how convenient would it be if you guys hypothetically were able to make a trade? The player can just get on your charter.
Yeah, that would be the best probably case scenario. Outside of that, it's a private situation, a drive, or if the only way they can get there is by commercial, then it's certainly it's a quarantine situation.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.